An inequality is a statement that two or more expressions are not necessarily equal. And what you learned in elementary school was that if you're expressing something that's larger than the other, you'll use something that looks like this. These are inequality signs. And you probably remember your teacher telling you that whatever side is bigger is where the alligator's mouth opens to. Well, we're going to build on that idea today. Now let's first talk about the symbols that you'll see. You'll see a sign that looks like this greater than sign. You may see a sign that looks like this greater than or equal to sign. You could see a less than sign. And you can also see a less than or equal to sign. And probably the most common thing that the most common time that you'll see an example of an inequality in real life is when driving down the road. So if you go down, let's see, Highway 75. Let's suppose you're on Highway 75 and you see a speed limit sign. And that speed limit sign tells you that you can go 65 miles per hour. And what that means is that you can go 65 miles per hour, anything below it, in order to not get a ticket. So in order to avoid that, you want to stay at 65 miles per hour or below. There's also a minimum speed on the highway as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what that means is that your car doesn't have to drive exactly, this is a car, does not have to drive exactly 65 miles per hour, but instead it could drive anything below that. So it could drive 60 miles per hour. It could drive 55 miles per hour. It could drive anything if x equals your car's miles per hour. It could drive at a speed that is less than or equal to 65 miles per hour. That's what they're talking about. They're using an inequality. So when you look at the work in your textbook, you'll see something like this. You'll have 3x plus 5 is less than or equal to 35, and you're asked to find the solutions of the inequality for the given replacement set. So what they're saying is, all right, we have this inequality. We know that 3x plus 5 is, in this case, the symbol means less than or equal to 35. Which one of these values makes this statement true? That's what they're asking. So they're asking, if I were to replace 5 into the expression on the left and for x, would it be less than or equal to 35? If I were to replace 30 into the expression on the left, would it be less than or equal to 35? And et cetera, on and on to 15. So let's just try it. What if we were to replace x with 5? Well, 3 times 5 is 15, and 15 plus 5 is 20, and that's less than or equal to 35. So we know that 5 is a possible solution. If 10 were replaced in for x, we'd end up with 3 times 10, which is 30, plus 5, which is equal to 35. So 35 is also less than or equal to 35 because 35 is equal to 35. So 10 is also a solution. Now it looks like 10 is the highest possible value because if I multiplied 3 by a number that was larger than 10, I would get a number that was larger than 35. So we know that 15 can't be a solution. So when answering these kind of questions, they're asking you to find the solutions of the inequality for that given replacement set. They're asking you to replace the variable with each of the values provided and then to tell them which statement is true. Now it's also possible to be given a replacement set where nothing works. Like if you were given the replacement set for this one, perhaps you were given, let's see, something like 20, 45, and 100, none of these values would work. And since none of those values would work, you would write no solution because there isn't a solution that satisfies that inequality.